All right, so I guess everyone, thanks for coming to the first Los Alamos Ignite Talks. Today I'm going to be telling a little climbing story that a buddy and I experienced. I'm going to don't call it an epic, because that's pretty much what it was. So first, what is an epic? It's a polite climbing term for a day that goes completely wrong. So an epic when you're climbing would be the equivalent of going to a grocery store and discovering that you actually have to wrestle an alligator before you're allowed to return home. So it all started with a bright idea. We thought, let's go climb Devil's Tower. How hard could it possibly be? Well, I don't know if anyone here is familiar with Devil's Tower. Devil's Tower was actually the USA's first national monument. The tower stands about 800 vertical feet from the ground to the top, and there's lots of good ways to get up there. There's some easier routes, so that was kind of the hope. So, and just to get an idea what this thing is, because I like a little bit of geology, it's an igneous intrusion, a bunch of magma pushed up into some sedimentary rock. That eventually got pushed up. All the sedimentary rock eroded away, leaving the faunalite tower that forms these hexagonal columns that have these cracks in them that are fantastic for climbing. So the kind of climbing that we do there is called traditional or trad climbing, and you use those cracks to place gear that will catch you in the case that you fall. Me being the infinitely able person, I had done basically none of it at that point, so we figured let's go what is hopefully the easiest way up. So to get to the top, we scramble up this little red squiggly line. We end up here at the middle where we start the climb. We rope up, go to the top, and nothing could possibly go wrong, and it's nice and easy to get to the top. So we show up, and it's a gorgeous day. We look up at the tower, and it just couldn't be any better. We have a nice dry approach when we're going up to the base of the climb. It's a fourth class scramble, which basically means that you don't want to fall in some spots because you'll die. And, like all great climbing experiences go, nothing went wrong. We made the scramble, we made it all the way to the base of the climb. We roped up, used our gear, made it to the meadows. It's this nice big flat grassy area halfway up the tower. And all we got to do is rope up and climb to the top because all of the hard work is done. The worst must be over. So here's a picture of my buddy Alex. We're having a great time just hanging out, looking at the scene, taking pictures. I don't know if you noticed the clouds, and he has the idea that we should check the weather. So Devil's Tower has this nice feature where if you're standing on one side of it, you can't actually see what's going on the other side. So while we're climbing in the sunshine, having a great time, there's been a storm forming for the last 4 hours on the other side. So we decided now it's time to bail. Well, to bail off Devil's Tower, the climb is too long. The pink line is about 200 to 300 feet, and you can't make it down with one set of ropes. So you do two rappels. We make the first rappel to the bottom of the first green arrow, get the rope stuck. It starts raining. Cloud after cloud comes in and smashes into us. You could see the rain coming. It was really cool. So eventually we get the ropes unstuck and eventually make it to the ground. Well, I'm kind of, because now we're actually not to the ground, we're to the base of the route, and that nice, easy climb on the way up is what we need to go down, and now it is entirely soaked. So, it was tough enough on the way up. My friend decided that he wasn't going to bring one, but two backpacks up there, so we've got plenty of gear to bring down. So we come to the conclusion the down climb is sketchy. What can we possibly do to make it a little bit easier? So we decided we're going to leave our climbing shoes on, even though it's not hard terrain. We'll do that, but what else could we do just to make it that much easier? So why don't we try to toss the backpacks ahead so that we don't have additional weight on us? We learned very quickly that you don't do that because you will throw your backpacks off of Devil's Tower twice. And you got to do some fun down climbing, and eventually we get the backpacks up, get down there, get to the base of the climb, look back up, and it looks just as bright and sunny as when we left. And, it just turned out to be a perfect day because, at the end of the day, we didn't die, not even once. So it may be, I don't know, a little bit off topic. Like, it seems a little strange to talk about climbing, but what that day taught me was, it just got me hooked on climbing, and for all the reasons that you wouldn't expect. It was a whole day of problem solving. The only thing that went right was the climbing. Everything else was a mess. The entire time we're doing it, we're physically fit enough to do this, but the whole time we're up there, we're scared. We're trying to deal with rain, and at the end of the whole ordeal, that crummy cup of gas station coffee had never tasted better. So that was a big turning point in my life because it showed me that even when things don't go right, you can still get through them. It's not a big deal. So just get out there. Find something that pushes you to your limits and a little bit farther, and you'll be able to go a little bit further the next time. Thanks.